Tuesday, March 30th, 2017. I'm Dan Rubin. This is the Bucknuts Morning 5 and Change. Joined, as always, on a gray Tuesday by Steve Wiltfong, Director of Recruiting for 24/7 Sports. Steve, how goes it this fine Indianapolis morning?
Good morning, Daniel. Sending rain your way, brother. It's a steady rainfall here in the Indianapolis suburbs, but I feel good. Already had my smoothie. Excited to talk about Ohio State Buckeyes recruiting.
I'm more excited about that than the weather, but let's go anyway. You had the fortune yesterday of going on the road to another lovely part of the state of Ohio, Toledo, and visit Toledo St. John's and Dallas Gant, the apple of Ohio State's eye at linebacker. Sometimes things can change. Your vibe can change when you get to see someone up close and personal. What's your vibe on the whole Gant choice now that you had a chance to spend some time with him?
Well, I've seen Dallas several times in person on a couple different campuses and in a camp setting. He ended the football season at 204 pounds. This was his first year not playing basketball. He's 227 pounds right now. He looks fantastic. Dallas Gant's the number one ranked outside linebacker by 24/7 Sports. He's a guy that moves extremely well. He's long-limbed. So even, and I doubt that he has, but let's just say he even lost a half a step with the added weight that was necessary to put on. I mean, he's an extremely fluid linebacker, and he looked like $1 million yesterday at his school.
Toledo is one of those cities where it's close enough to the border of Michigan that sometimes allegiances can get frayed. There's also a chance Notre Dame could pop in there. Where are we with Dallas when it comes to his choice of college?
Well, Dallas is visiting Michigan for the first time on Sunday. That's a school that he's intrigued by, so the Wolverines will try and make a move. Right now, I think that Dallas will say Michigan State's his dream school. That's what he said yesterday. But I don't think that the Spartans are riding in the same air right now as Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Penn State. He had a lot of great things to say about Penn State. His face kind of lit up when talking about the Nittany Lions. Notre Dame's got some built-in advantages with Dallas. I've been covering Notre Dame for a long time. I've never heard a kid say one of the reasons why they like Notre Dame was the religious aspect. He said that yesterday. So that was a little eyebrow raising for me. But Ohio State, he certainly, Ohio State's Ohio State. And that's what he said. And, he certainly has seen the development of players there and knows that Ohio State's about championships and the opportunity that he would have at Ohio State. So I actually have no idea where he's going. I think he's going to release some favorites here soon. All the schools I mentioned will be the ones that I expect him to name. And he's probably going to decide early here in the summer. And so he's getting close, but he's really good at keeping it close to the vest. And I could see him at a lot of places. I guess if you're asking me my crystal ball says Ohio State, but after being there yesterday, my gut kind of says Notre Dame. But, I don't really know.
Interesting. That's one we're going to have to keep an eye on, especially when it's the number one outside linebacker in the country in state. You want to take advantage of that and lock him in. You also want to take advantage of number one offensive tackle in the state and lock him in. That became a little more nebulous recently after Jackson Carman out of Fairfield, the number one tackle in the country in the class, visited Clemson and emerged saying Clemson was his new leader. It was a foregone conclusion, I put that in air quotes, that he was going to Ohio State before that visit. And though he is saying Clemson, how nervous should Buckeye fans be about his ultimate destination?
Well, Jackson's always been up front about his recruitment and has never shied away from saying Ohio State's his number one. Now he's saying Clemson's his number one. Look, and I think I've talked about this with you before on the Bucknuts Morning 5. Clemson does on-campus visits as well as anybody. They're organized. Their coaching staff is very involved from Dabo Swinney on down. And Dabo Swinney's an elite head coach recruiter. He's in the same arena as Urban Meyer. and when it comes to the head coach and how he's able to impact kids and make them feel like this is the place and be genuine about it. He's a player's coach, just like Coach Meyer is. And I'm not surprised that they made a huge impression on Jackson. I'd still be surprised if Jackson didn't end up at Ohio State. He's always said that he's going to decide late in the process. And look, Clemson's got a lot going on there right now. They're defending national champs, and they're a program where the coaching staff understands what they need to do on the recruiting trail. And yeah, and obviously Jackson loved what he saw yesterday, but the crystal ball didn't follow the comment, So I don't think too many people are buying it. We'll see. I don't know what else to say. I think still like Ohio State there in the end.
Yeah, let's just hope it's a kid playing it out. But he is that good. So I imagine once that story came out, that news came out, he got a couple calls from the 614. So we'll take it from there. Another guy we need to talk about who's been crystal balled by one Bill Kurelic to the Buckeyes, which lets you know it's pretty much got his bags packed for the school. Michael Harris, linebacker. You had a chance to see him up close and personal. Let us know about him and what you think of his quest to be a Buckeye.
Yeah, I was with him on Sunday at the Atlanta Nike camp. He's an impressive-looking specimen out of Tucker, Georgia. I added my crystal ball for the Buckeyes after talking to him. So joined the long list at that point. I didn't really go out on a limb there. And he really spoke highly of Ohio State. He's talking to several coaches on the Buckeye staff. Grew up an Ohio State fan. And he's coming up in April for a few days. And I wouldn't be surprised if he left town committed to Ohio State.
Who else jumped out at you at the Atlanta camp, regardless of where they're looking?
Oh man, so who did we have as our 24/7 Sports Alpha dog from that camp? Why am I drawing a huge blank? I liked Greg Emerson, the defensive tackle. We invited him to the U.S. Army All-American Bowl. And he's got Ohio State in his top 2 or 3, but I think the pulse right now is Tennessee. Obviously, his coach played at Ohio State and brought him up to Friday Night Lights this summer. I like this running back, Harold Joyner. He was a 6'3", 215-pound specimen. There's not a lot of running backs in this class that I like, but he's as good as any running back that I've seen so far, outside of Zamir White, who obviously Ohio State's in the top 2 in my opinion for the number 1 running back in the country per 24/7 Sports. Saw Emory, of course. Obviously saw Emory throw it around and Ohio State's quarterback commit. Certainly flashes big time upside, not as consistent as some of the guys like Justin Fields. Justin Fields has had the best camp performance I've seen this year, and then you add it with Justin Fields' film, which is insane. Penn State's getting a good one in him. But Emory certainly flashes big-time potential. He's coming off that shoulder injury. So we'll see what kind of senior year he has. He's got a live arm, really moves well, fluid, comfortable, making throws from a variety of movements, and so liked what I saw from Emory. I don't know why I'm struggling to remember who the top overall performer was for us right now. It's kind of it was Jamari Salyer, the number 1 offensive guard in the country. He wants to come to Ohio State's spring game. Georgia, Clemson, and Stanford among the other top contenders for Jamari out of Atlanta Pace. Georgia's a heavy crystal ball favorite, but I don't necessarily think he's a slam dunk to the Bulldogs. So he's a guy I liked a lot too. So those were kind of the specimens that stood out. Jamari Salyer, Greg Emerson, and Harold Joyner, the running back. Liked what we saw from Emory Jones from an upside perspective, and look forward to seeing him get healthier and healthier.
There you have it, Buckeyes. While your favorite team is under assault within state borders, they're doing some work outside the state, especially the Peach State. We appreciate Steve stopping by. Have a good one, Bucknutters.
Appreciate it, guys. Take care.